Marcus. Tell me what you think about Christ. Made their sacrifice now. Tell me what you think about equal rights for all, everywhere. Say what you think, what you think, what you think, what you think about justice. What you know, what you know, what you know, what you know about love. Why all the segregation, all are but one nation. Oh, let us unite as one. Let us unite as one. Tell me what you know about love. Tell me what you know about hate that keeps us separated. Tell me what you think about equal rights for all, in every way. Say what you think, what you think, what you think, what you think about justice. What you know, what you know, what you know, what you know about love. Why all the segregation? We all are but one nation. Oh, let us unite as one. Let us unite as one. Oh, love. So many can testify. Love, oh, love. But you still can't satisfy. You keep on praying. You wish that day would come when there'll be equal rights and justice for every man. Say what you think, what you think, what you think, what you think about justice. What you know, what you know, what you know, what you know about love. Why all the segregation? We all are but one nation. Oh, let us unite as one. Let us unite. What you think, what you think, what you think, what you think about justice. What you know, what you know, what you know, what you know about love. Why all the segregation? We all are but one nation. Oh, let us unite as one. Let us unite as one. Tell me what you think about justice, brother man. Oh, tell me what you know about love. Why all the segregation? We all are but one nation, child, child. Let us... Oh, yo, 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 yo. And wait. Oh, yo, 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 yo. Oh, yo, 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 yo. And wait. Oh, yo, 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 yo. Tell me what you think about Marcus. Tell me what you think about Christ. Made their sacrifice now. Tell me what you think about equal rights for all, everywhere. Say what you think, what you think, what you think, what you think about justice. What you know, what you know, what you know, what you know about love. Why all the segregation? All are but one nation. Oh, let us unite as one. Let us unite as one. Tell me what you know about love. Tell me what you know about hate that keeps us separated. Tell me what you think about equal rights.
coastals are not fearful every time they feel an earthquake that a tsunami is likely to come. A tsunami that is our threshold right now is 6.5 magnitude. If it occurs in shallow waters, it is likely to trigger a tsunami. But when you reach like 7 point something, 8 point something, well, more than likely what is happening in shallow water. So there's basically three types. You have the distant, which happen way off from the Caribbean. We have the regional, that may happen somewhere in the Caribbean. We have the local, that may happen in our waters. So if it happens in our waters, now our response time, just the shaking itself, and it says about a severe shake close to about a minute or so, right? It is likely to trigger a tsunami once it happens in shallow water. However, if it happens inland, you know what will likely to happen. Buildings fall down, earth may open up. So right now we are looking at the tsunami, the earthquakes in the ocean. Also too, it's not necessarily just an earthquake. It could be land slippage underwater that drives water movement, plate tectonics and so forth. You could have an underwater volcano eruption that could cause that. You know, a few months ago, last year we had Kikam Jenny. Everybody was wondering what would happen.
I think it was about last month actually. Yeah.
Yes. So Kikam Jenny, that is something that I will think about. I would like to say something about the Pacific Tsunami Warning Center as to show the connection what Mr. Spetty just said about its original. The Pacific Tsunami Warning Center directly serves the Hawaiian Islands, the U.S. Pacific and Caribbean territories, the British Virgin Islands, and is the primary international forecast center for the Pacific and Caribbean basin. So you realize that not just St. Kitts and Nevis will be participating, but all those chain of islands, and we also have other territories who will be participating, who may not be a part of this. And what I would say to you, at the focal point, we have to ensure that our officers are trained, our personnel are trained. As a matter of fact, just a few days ago, I think it was yesterday,
yeah.
Spetty and I, we went there to refresh the memories of the person with the messages that will come, and we are satisfied that they are knowledgeable. But we'll continue to share the information so that they can think. And what we're looking for is to that members of the public will appreciate what we are giving them, but at the same time, there are resources they can find to assist their knowledge. So we're encouraging persons to surf the internet, and you will see a number of things about tsunami and how do you prepare. We always tell person higher ground is the best thing. And there's a tsunami I like to tell person, but there are a lot of scenarios, but they can just type in Japan tsunami and they will see what it's like. It's strange. Sometimes the water recedes, as in Indonesia some years ago. And when many people on the beach saw that, some went to look, but shortly after, the water just came crashing back in. And based on what the research has shown, it travels faster than jet planes. So you can imagine the speed at which it comes. So you really can't outrun it, especially once you're on the coast. Cannot outrun it.
And to piggyback on what Superintendent said, for the local information, because we are encouraging you, of course, to surf the web for more localized information as well. You can always contact us at the agency. You can our social media pages as well. We regularly share information about seismic hazards, but if you want specific information that you may not have seen, you can always call us, and we are always happy to share. We're always happy to have that conversation with anyone.
Okay.
With what Mr. Superintendent David said, I mean, that is one of my biggest fears, where persons might see the ocean receding and curiosity gets the better of them, where everyone wants to look and see, hey, what this strange phenomena is. But then shortly after, you know, those waves would come back swiftly, creating destruction in its path. So we just want to urge the general public that you know, these drills that we put on is not for joke. We created plans and procedures. The only way in which you know that these plans and procedures will work is if we test them. And this test comes in the form of these drills. So the more persons within the Federation take part in these drills, practice becomes norm. So it would become a part of them in knowing exactly what to do in the event of a tsunami emergency.
And what Martin said as well, in terms of looking at, you're seeing the water receding, and you're seeing, we like to say, free fish. Because, I know that there were some instances where, in the past, maybe a strong storm was passing and the water receded, and instead of persons, moving away from the beach, they would have actually gone out, because, and they say curiosity kills the cat. One of the things that we always say to simplify, the signs of a tsunami in terms of your actions is feel, see, hear, run. Those 4 things, and that is if you feel a very strong earthquake, because as Superintendent David said, one of the main causes, not the only cause, but one of the main causes of a tsunami is an earthquake. So if you feel a very strong earthquake, of course it has to pass a certain threshold. If you see the water receding, that is drawing back from the shore, then you don't go out, you actually move away from it, and we encourage you to move to higher ground or further inland if higher ground is not available to you. If you hear, because when the water is coming back, it comes back with a sound. So if you hear that roaring and you see that the water coming back and it has this loud sound, definitely, it might be a bit too late, but definitely you try and get as fast as possible to higher ground and run. Of course, is the action, because we really want you to, walk risky really, but we really want you to get out of there. And so we try and encourage persons, feel, see, hear, run, when we speak about the signs of a tsunami.
Okay, and if you drive around the island, you see some signs posted.
Yes.
What's the reason for that?
Okay, so that started in 2017 when we St. Kitts and Nevis got tsunami ready recognized. In order to be tsunami ready recognized, there was some standards that we would have had to meet locally and to uphold, and one of those was signage around the island in areas that are prone to tsunamis. So you would see signs that says tsunami higher ground, move further inland. You would see signs that says tsunami assembly point, and assembly point is an open area where we would have deemed that it is out of the tsunami Indonesian zone, where you can go to get information. Of course, that doesn't say that, because we did worst case scenario, but that doesn't say that worst case scenario cannot change. Yes. So that area is also a point of information, if you need to move further inland than what we would have deemed before. We also would have had to have our tsunami standard operating procedures, which we do, and we've been updating them, and we update them regularly. We also had to have, as Superintendent said, a tsunami warning focal point, and that is police telecoms, as they are 24/7 operations, because tsunami doesn't have an 8 to 4. It doesn't decide, okay, they're off the clock, let me wait till tomorrow morning. And so we needed someone who this operation that is always open, that will be able to receive messaging. We also, of course, have to ensure that that we regularly drill and practice locally, and we we do public awareness. And so these are some of the things that we would have had to done to be tsunami ready recognized. We started in 2016, 2017. We would have renewed our recognition in 2021. Yes, 2021. And so it's a continuous process. It's not just one and done. It's something that we continue to build on, something we continue to improve on. In the future you may hear us tag on a little more things in terms of what we've done so far.
Okay.
Yes, I was going to say that Mrs. Petty touched it right there, is that the signs are wrong. We want persons to familiarize themselves. If you cannot read, there's also a drawing to show. Once you see the wave and you got an inclination, you run up to the higher grounds. Move towards higher ground. In the exercise, in our area of play, which Ms. Petty will let the public know later on, is that we want persons, even though we may not, because we have teams who are out communicating with some people, because there are some government institutions there that deals with vulnerable people.
Yes.
And vulnerable people, we talk about the very young and the very old, and persons with special needs, and therefore we are ensuring that they too have a plan, and how can we assist them to get the plan. So we're saying, if you're not there, you hear the sirens and you hear the coming over the PA system, this is a exercise, tsunami warning and so forth, and we want persons to move to higher grounds. Once you can assist us move towards that, and then sometimes we ask persons just a little feedback, because there are some people who say, okay, I'm going about my daily business, don't have time for that, but we still ask them, do you know? Because our thing is to make sure that the entire, but if you can't get the entire, a very large cross section of our community aware and they educate their loved ones as to it, because we may not be able to reach everybody, but each body touch one, we reach everybody.
Okay, I think it's a good point for us to take a break, and when we get back, we can delve into the actual exercise when and where.
All right.
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah.
What has you so happy? My home internet just got upgraded, and I didn't even have to pay for it.
What? Which network you have?
Flow! Now I can get the fastest fiber internet in St. Kitts and Nevis for the lowest price.
Fastest internet for the lowest price? What's the catch?
No catch, my friend. 100 megabits per second for just $135 a month. With Flow, you truly get the best internet experience around.
Switch to Flow for the fastest fiber internet at the lowest price. Visit a Flow store today. Conditions apply.
Do you know that the cable has a real live customer service representative available every day until 9 p.m.? Just call 465-2588. Calling out of normal office hours? Leave a voicemail and a friendly, reliable cable rep will call you back. Do you have an urgent request? Or maybe you just want to ask a service question? Call 465-2588 and a service representative will be available to assist you. Or, if you prefer, send an email to customerservice@thecable.biz and someone will get back to you. So remember, the cable is here for you every day until 9 p.m. Just call 465-2588 or send an email. The Cable, always giving you more where it matters.
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah.
Okay, welcome back to Policing with You. As I said earlier, I'm your host for today, Inspector Marvin Thompson, and with me in studio I have Mrs. Petty from NEMA, the Acting Deputy Martin from Fire, and Superintendent David from the Police. And they are speaking about an exercise that they should be conducting shortly with reference to tsunami. So I let Ms. Petty continue. Okay, we have a phone call. We'll stop and take the phone call.
Hello?
Good morning, listener.
Good morning. I tried to ask, if Mr. Salami come, how did you say a person will get out? How do you know?
That's a very good question, Carla. So we at NEMA and in collaboration with police, for persons with disability, we pay close attention to them. We may offer assistance to the person to evacuate. What I would say is that we actually try as best as possible to keep a vulnerable persons listing to include the elderly as well as persons with disability in collaboration with the Ministry of Social Community Development, and so we will try and use that list to assist persons to evacuate. Another important note that I'll use this opportunity to mention is that when it comes to evacuation, we do not allow persons to drive, because could you imagine if everyone jumped into their vehicle and tried to evacuate to higher ground? Then no, I don't think anyone will get there in time. However, for a person with disability as well as pregnant women, persons with babies, those who cannot walk as yet, we actually would allow them to drive. Those are the only groupings that would be allowed to drive, because we understand that there are some physical impediment that would impede them from getting there safely in a timely manner, and so we do take that in consideration.
And to support what Mrs. Petty is saying, our deputy coordinator, is that from Basti area, just in case the person is from Basti, any place above the airport, based on the projection of our inundation maps, you are in a safe zone. But if you want to go to Stapleton, better yet. But so I had to make that known. So just in case they hear it. Now, depending on the type of tsunami, when I said type, remember I talked about distant, regional, and local.
Yes.
Let us assume it is a regional. It could give us maybe about half an hour time. So once we send that alert out, at least persons can take the time reach up there. But if it's happened locally, just the sudden shake itself is a warning. That itself could be the warning. So therefore, we may not have time, but everybody will just have to evacuate. So that's why we're stressing about the sudden, long shaking, almost to a minute, in our waters could be a possible sign of a tsunami. But at the same time as we speak, we don't want everybody, as soon as they feel a shaking, they run. But so we're going to take some time to continue to explain that.
Okay, we'll take the call. Go ahead, caller, you're on.
Hello.
Hello, caller, go ahead, you're on.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning.
Everyone in there.
Good morning.
Yeah, while we are speaking about natural tsunami and disasters, we can expect an exodus of 2-foot tsunami coming here soon. Because with 3,000 prisoners let out on the streets, they already started drifting and giving complaint about the boat engine breakdown. And we do not want that here. So I am asking police, immigration, custom officers, and soldiers, and every concerned citizen of St. Kitts Nevis to be on the alert and look out for them when we see them coming in the wrong port. That's all I have to say. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, caller.
Okay, yes, to add some more on the evacuation of persons with disability as well as other vulnerable population, along with police. What I forgot to mention is that in each district, we have 8 districts. They are by the constituency boundaries. We have NEMA district volunteers. Our volunteers are also, tasked with being aware of persons who may need the extra assistance in the case of any impact of any hazard, and so that's another avenue in which persons will be assisted.
Okay. Okay, we'll take the call.
Hello.
And go ahead, caller, you're on.
Hello, good morning, everyone, and especially Timothy Martin. Congratulations, Timothy. This is Sonny Boy calling you on the promotion.
Thank you very much, Sonny Boy. Good morning to you too.
Growing up home in St. Kitts, I live in America now. Growing up home in St. Kitts, I always heard that St. Kitts was always situated in a good position because we have a lot of mountains. We are a mountainous island. And a lot of the islands don't have that advantage, like Anguilla and St. Martin and Tortola and those islands. So I know from afar, living in America, I don't think St. Kitts is below sea level. I think we're above sea level. So for a tsunami to make it up the heights, so like Mount Misery or Shadwell area or Buckley, it would take a lot of water. Because when I look at the tsunami from Japan, I look at them on videos, those are flat countries. So I said, in St. Kitts, we still have time to elevate ourselves to higher ground because our island is mountainous. And I think in the Caribbean, we are one of the most mountainous islands in the Caribbean. So that's a blessing from God. And a lot of our houses are built in the mountain now, in the mountain area. That's a protection because if you live like up, like you say, where Buffalo's estate is, and up on there you live in a mountainous house, you're protected. But if you live on lowland, you have to be careful. Like my mother's house is in Market Street, Upper Market Street, and that's a lowland. So I think our island is situated very well in case there's a tsunami. And I'm listening to the comment off here.
All right, thank you. Okay, so.
Okay, well, yes, we are. Okay.
Oh. Carl, go ahead.
Just go ahead again.
Go ahead, Carla, you're on.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning.
Let me just turn the way. Just to complete some time ago, I think you all said you had all the elderly people named, listed, and especially those who live alone. Mm-hmm. And you all said you have them in case of any disaster. Not necessarily tsunami. We used to say tidal wave long time. Mm-hmm. But I wonder if you all still have that, but nobody ever come by me. And I question it. Mine, I live in an area which is high above sea level. Well, let me say elevated. But I'm going to ask you this. Do you all have a mapping of the low-lying areas or the areas that might be prone to a tsunami? Could you tell us if you have them? That people would like to know. Where I am, I'm alright. Where I live. I live in the Challenges area. So, I just thought I'll do that.
Okay, Carla.
Tell us, please.
Thank you for your question.
Okay, so I'll answer it in two parts. Okay. Yes, we still do keep a list of elderly as well as persons with disabilities, and specifically persons, especially those living alone. We update that list in collaboration with community development as well as our NEMA volunteers. So they may not necessarily come to your home, but because of their community knowledge, they would be able to guide us in terms of who lives where. In terms of the mapping now, yes, we do have maps of the tsunami in the nation zones. What we do is we did worst case scenario of 30 meter inland or 100-foot wave, and so we've done the maps for both St. Kitts and Nevis based on that in the nation, and we've also have it split off. If you want a copy, a physical copy, or maybe a digital copy, you can always reach out to NEMA and we'll be happy to help. It is also on the internet. If you search St. Kitts Tsunami Hazard Zones, they actually are available to you as well. In terms of, I just wanted to touch on the previous caller as well in terms of the mountainous area versus on the sea level. Yes, we are very blessed in St. Kitts and Nevis to have mountains. We appreciate the fact that it's not all islands do. However, we do have some areas within the Federation that are below sea level, and so therefore they would be vulnerable to a tsunami if we were to be impacted. And so we cannot take that lightly, and we do not at the agency.
Okay, thank you.
Just to piggyback off of what Ms. Petty would have said, just to bring it a little home to the listening audience. Now, if you're ever in traffic during lunchtime or even 4 o'clock, waiting, you're in your vehicle traversing, you know that you have tight traffic jams at those times because St. Kitts have an influx of vehicles now. Now imagine everyone getting a mass alert, and the alerts stems from radio, TV, telephones, the service providers. They would send alert messages to your phone. Everyone receiving that mass alert that an impending tsunami is coming. Everyone jumps in their vehicle to get to higher grounds. You recognize that persons would be there. If it's a half an hour, even an hour, persons would still be in the vehicle waiting to move off. So it is best for persons to leave their vehicle and move to higher grounds on foot, those that can.
Okay. In terms of the actual exercise this year and the area that you will be having the exercise, tell us a little about that.
Okay, so each year, based on our Tsunami in the Nation maps that I would have mentioned previously, we choose an exercise area. For example, last year we exercised in the Basti area. There was a year we exercised over the Frigate Bay. I think a year they did Sandy Point Industrial Site. So you can see we choose a different area every year. We did one in Allwood in the night at one point as well, because as I said, Tsunami doesn't have an 8 to 4. This year we decided to do the Diabet to Lynches area with some institutions in Saddlers, and we chose that area because when we looked at the map we realized that there are some areas around that side that will be very vulnerable to a tsunami, and so we decided based on the institutions, you know, and the number of communities that we have within that area, it would be important to test. And so on the 21st of March, that is the day for Caribbean Wave, we'll be in that area doing our tsunami exercise.
Who would be involved in terms of agencies?
Okay, so we have some schools in that area, and the schools have signed on to participate. We also have some businesses and community members who would be participating as well.
And also the home for the elderly.
Oh yes, and there's also a home for the elderly in that area.
Okay, so in terms of that, what's the expectation from the general public? I know you have the person signed up, but in terms of the general public.
Okay, so we encourage persons to evacuate to their nearest assembly points. For example, in Diabet, the assembly point is the horse track. In Parsons, there's a little pasture above the community there. In Saddlers, it's the Saddlers playing field. And so those participating will be encouraged to evacuate to that area. Some persons who may not be aware of the exercise, of course, if they are in the area and the exercise is happening, they are of course encouraged to join in the exercise. Some persons may decide they don't want to go all the way up. However, they decide maybe to evacuate just their business or their homes. That's also fine. We encourage some level of participation so that you can, you know, test yourselves to know how ready are you to the impact of a tsunami. In fact, and as a jump off to some of our activities upcoming to the exercise, will be in the Diabet area tonight at 5, this evening at 5, we meet at Arthur's, where we'll be going, walking to the assembly point, which is the horse track, just to, you know, educate persons as well as, you know, so persons get a feel of how fast it is to get from point A to point B, because that's also important.
Okay. About how long do you expect the exercise to last?
We expect it to last about
3 hours.
2 to 3 hours.
Okay.
And what out of this for me as police, and it's certainly sure for Mr. Martin, is that our colleagues responding to a different type of emergency. You know, normally Mr. Martin and his team will respond to fire. We respond to crime and violence. So now we got to go there to all of us combining now to do save lives, ensuring that people get to safety, and test our equipment, test our responsiveness to these type of disasters, and also to see how the community respond to these strange uses of the fire and police PA system and prolonged siren and something coming out and say, warning, move. So at the end of the day, this is one occasion where we see that we'll have some externals from these vehicles, and you will hear actual speech coming from them telling you to do something.
Okay.
And this exercise is also to test our responses as well. So it's not just for the general public, it's to test us as well, because we have to know when we go out there is to get the message out to the general public, tell as much persons as possible, and then have enough time for us to reach to safety as well.
Okay. So in the wrap up, anything you want to emphasize before we leave?
Sure. I would like to invite everyone in the Diabet to Lynches Saddlers area to our walk tonight. At 5, we meet at Arthur's, and from Arthur's we go to the horse track. You know, think of it as a nice little evening exercise. So we're encouraging persons to come on out, learn more about tsunami awareness, earthquake awareness, and you know, it might be a good time. I would also like to encourage persons in the exercise area, if you hear that siren next week Thursday, you know, participate, because at the end of the day, it is to the benefit of you. We are just ensuring that, you know, we try and prepare as much persons as possible. But at the end of the day, the preparedness all boils down to your participation, your willingness to actually learn and be aware of a tsunami and seismic threats in general.
Okay. Anything you want to?
I think that was a mouthful.
Like I said, this gives us an opportunity to continue with the education drive of the persons in the Federation of St. Christopher Names, whether they are residents, citizens, or visitors, because who knows, we may have a cruise ship in at the time, and they too will like to say they go to Arthur's, and we're going to do something that they too can participate. They may not move, but at least they are aware of it. And we have seen that in the past. When they hear these things, they know what it was all about. So, everyone, let us be tsunami ready and ensure that we save lives. And at the end of the day, we restore back to normalcy in a very quick time.
Thank you, Mrs. Petty, Mr. Martin, Superintendent David. Thank you for coming on the show today and educating all of us in terms of what we need to do to be tsunami ready. And I also encourage listening audience, those particularly in the Lynches to Sadlers area, David to Sadlers area, who would be in the play area, that you participate as much as you can if you are able to. It all redounds to our personal benefit in being ready in the event that we are met with a tsunami or seismic threat. Thanks to everyone who have tuned in today to Policing With You. We invite you to tune in again next week for a similar program. I'm your host, Inspector Marvin Thompson, wishing you a blessed day. Thank you.